join. So today we'll be talking about acute renal failure. One second. Right. So acute renal failure, as abbreviated ARF. This is obviously a condition which is occurring very quickly. What happens in acute renal failure is that it is a syndrome wherein there will be rapid onset of renal dysfunction because of whatever damage. Now previously we've discussed about glomerulonephritis and pyelonephritis. Those can be some causes, but there can be other causes as well. The result will be that whenever a patient is suffering from acute renal failure, they will have sudden onset or rapid onset of renal dysfunction, wherein the patient is having oliguria or anuria, so decreased amount of urine excretion or almost no urine excretion altogether. And they will have, because urine is not being excreted properly, they will have increase in metabolic waste products. So in blood and in their body, metabolic waste products will start getting accumulated, specifically urea and creatinine. Okay, this will lead to a condition called uremia. Okay, so acute renal failure is characterized by a rapid onset of renal dysfunction, renal dysfunction leading to uh, oliguria. Oliguria is less than 400 ml of urine being excreted per day. Anuria is no urine being excreted per day. Oliguria or anuria. Sometimes, if it is severe enough, the patient will also have anuria. Um, Other than that, there will be a sudden increase in metabolic waste products. Okay, specifically urea and creatinine. See, whenever urine is not being excreted out of the body, obviously waste products will start accumulating inside your body, specifically in your blood. This condition where urea and creatinine is starting to get accumulated, that is uremia, right, in your blood. Now, coming to etiology of acute renal failure, why acute renal failure occurs or how it occurs. There are three main categories. Okay, how causes of acute ARF can be classified into three categories. It can be the pre-renal, it can be intra-renal or post-renal. All right. Coming to the first cause, pre-renal causes. Okay. यहाँ पर क्या हो रहा, the kidney is not getting enough amount of blood. Okay, as simple as that. Pre-renal conditions are those conditions in which there is sudden decrease in blood flow to the nephron. Okay, so there is sudden decrease in blood flow to nephron. Now, whenever there is sharp decrease in blood flow to the nephron, obviously GFR will fall. Other than that, these causes can also include, so why blood flow is decreasing, it can be if the patient is suffering for hypovolemia, okay, the total blood volume is low, or it can be a failure in cardiac output. Let's suppose the patient is having congestive heart failure and they're not able to pump out enough amount of blood. In both of these conditions, the total amount of blood that is flowing in your body and the total amount of blood that will reach your kidney will sharply decrease. Okay, so pre-renal causes will be those that will that will cause decrease in perfusion of blood in your kidney. Okay, there will be significantly decreased perfusion in your kidney. Yeah, as such, kidney is a very perfused organ, but यहाँ पर because of some condition, it can be decreased cardiac output, it can be hypovolemia, it can be any cause wherein the total amount of blood flow to your nephron is decreasing. That will be categorized under pre-renal causes. Then we have intrarenal causes. Okay, intrarenal causes are characterized by disease of renal tissue itself. So there is some problem in the kidney itself. Pre-renal may there was not exactly a problem in your kidney, there was a problem in the blood flow to your kidney. In intrarenal, there is a disease of the kidney. So it can be vascular disease in the arteries and the arterioles of your kidney. So inside the kidney, you will have several arteries and arterioles. Those are having some vascular disease, like let's suppose atherosclerosis or thrombosis or things like that. ठीक है, you can have diseases of glomerular acute tubular necrosis हो सकता, uh, due to ischemia. ठीक है, ischemia leading to acute tubular necrosis that can occur. So यहाँ पर the problem is inside the kidney. It can also be a nephrotoxin. Okay, it might be a drug or some other toxic substance that you have ingested or that patient has ingested that is causing significant damage to the kidney itself, or it can be acute tubular interstitial nephritis or pyelonephritis. So these are all the causes that can directly damage your kidney. So these will include uh, diseases of the kidney itself, okay, on the renal tissue to be specific. They will include, now in these you can have vascular diseases. ठीक है, vascular diseases will include atherosclerosis, arteriosclerosis, hyalinosis, all of them. ठीक है, wherein there is damage to your vascular or vasculitis as well, damage to your blood vessel. ठीक है, vascular diseases of arteries and arterioles. This is within the kidney, okay. Then it can be acute tubular necrosis, tubular necrosis due to ischemia. Now, ischemia is a condition in which the total amount of blood supply to your kidney is low. Now, blood supply low होने की वजह से what will happen is eventually there will be cell damage and cell will undergo necrosis. That is when acute tubular necrosis is occurring due to ischemia. Okay. Then it can be effect of nephrotoxin. No, this can be a drug that the patient has been taking for a long period of time. Now, you know, there are drugs which are nephrotoxic. So certain drugs like aminoglycosides and things like that, they can cause nephrotoxicity for a long period of time. And it can be some chronic usage of nephrotoxin, or it can be some very acute poison that is causing nephrotoxicity. Or it can be acute tubulointerstitial, acute tubulointerstitial nephritis. ठीक है. Acute tubular interstitial nephritis is obviously one type of glomerulonephritis where there is significant damage to your tubules and interstitial space. ठीक है, or it can be pyelonephritis. So these are all the causes that are associated with intrarenal. Okay, these are direct causes wherein your kidney itself is damaged, because of which the patient will develop ARF. Okay. Now we have the third cause, which are post-renal causes. Post-renal causes में वो आते हैं, these are basically obstructions. Okay, obstruction to the flow of urine. So this is mainly be due to obstruction to flow of urine. See, as such, normally what happens is there are around 7 to 8 nephrons that are draining into one collecting duct. Okay, I'm hoping that you already know the hierarchy in your kidney. Nephrons will, what do you call, the nephrons that is present in your cortex and medulla, they will basically 8 of those will drain into one collecting duct, and that collecting duct will obviously go to your papillae, renal papillae, then to your minor calyx, major calyx, and finally into your renal pelvis, where all the urine gets accumulated and it is thrown into your ureters. Okay, that is the general pathway through which urine will flow. Now, यहाँ पर क्या होता है? Obstruction is occurring anywhere in the renal tract. Especially it occurs somewhere close to your collecting duct. Okay, that is when post-renal causes come into picture. Now, this can be caused by a mass within the lumen. Okay, so let's suppose I am taking a collecting duct like this. Okay, it can be a obstruction inside the lumen like this. Okay, or इसको intraluminal obstruction बोलते हैं, या फिर it can be in the wall of that lumen, in the sense that it can be something like this. ठीक है, please be careful, this and this is different. ठीक है, यहाँ पर obstruction is occurring in the lumen and it is getting lodged like this. ठीक है, one second, let me use this. Yeah, Okay, it is getting lodged like this. This is one type of obstruction, or it can be intramural, wherein it is getting what you call stuck to the wall of your this thing, to wall of the collecting duct or wall of your ureter, wherever it is causing obstruction. See, like this. Now it can be obstruction in other parts of your urinary tract after your kidneys as well. So it can be an obstruction in your ureter, it can be obstruction in the urethra, it can be obstruction in your urinary bladder, more commonly in the ureters than any other. Ureters and renal pelvis में obstruction होना ज़्यादा common है. Okay. Now once this obstruction occurs, so these are two ways. It can be intraluminal, the first case like this, inside the lumen, or it can be intramural, around the wall. There is third type as well, wherein it can be an external obstruction, in the sense that, let's suppose your ureters or your tube is normal, but there is a tumor that is pushing onto this tube externally. Okay, it can be a tumor, it can be any cyst or any structure that is pushing onto the surface from outside, causing this to literally bend like this. Okay, let's suppose there is an obstruction like this here. Okay, this obstruction will physically, this what do you call, this cyst or this tumor will physically cause an obstruction from external sources. Okay, from external compression. Now again, as I told you, this compression can occur anywhere in your urinary tract. It can occur in the ureter, bladder, neck, or urethra. Okay, so those causes where obstruction is occurring, that will be in your post-renal causes. Now, I hope you understood till here. This is the etiology of acute renal failure, how it is occurring. Okay. Now, coming to clinical features that you see in a patient with acute renal failure. Clinical features. If you're having doubts, please feel free to ask. Now, clinical features can be divided into three major patterns. Okay, three different forms in which clinical features will occur. So the first one will be called syndrome of acute nephritis. Acute nephritis. इसमें क्या होता, this is mostly associated with glomerular nephritis, specifically क्या बोलते हैं, acute post trap glomerular nephritis or RPGN, rapidly progressive glomerular nephritis, meaning the patient already had RPGN or the patient had acute post trap glomerular nephritis, which when not treated properly, or which let's suppose even if treatment was occurring, either treatment was not given altogether or the treatment was not proper, or in either case the patient's condition got worsened very very quickly, leading to acute renal failure. Okay, so यहाँ पर in syndrome of acute nephritis, it is either um, acute post-trap glomerular nephritis or RPGN, rapidly progressive glomerular nephritis, leading to acute renal failure. Okay, the patient already had those two, and they developed this because they were not treated properly or they were not treated altogether. Now, the features that you see in this associated with syndrome of acute nephritis is the patient will have mild proteinuria, they will show hematuria. Now, mild proteinuria can be either selective or non-selective. See, proteinuria, significant proteinuria is more than 3.5 grams per day. Okay, this we have already discussed. If there is very very high amount of proteinuria, it will be more than 3.5 grams per day. Here, mild proteinuria, I am talking about somewhere between 2 to 3. Okay, 2 to 3 grams per day, and it can be either selective or non-selective. उसका मतलब क्या है? Now you already know from glomerular nephritis that selective proteinuria means that there is only albumin loss. Now there can be moderate to severe selective proteinuria as well, in the sense that, you know, if there is a small hole created in their GBM, or 1 second guys, if there is a small hole created in your GBM or something like that, let's suppose there are these 4 holes created in your GBM and in the vertical filtering lining of your nephron, sorry, glomerulus. तो यहाँ से आपका albumin is passing through and coming. Let's suppose there is selective mild or very little proteinuria where it is around 1.5 to 2 grams per day. ठीक है. Now instead of just making it, to make it non-selective, you'll have to increase the size of the pores. ठीक है. Now in non-selective meaning both globulin and albumin are being lost. You can have mild proteinuria of only albumin in the sense that the number of these holes are increasing. So what will happen, this will go up. ठीक है. This will go to 2 to 2.5, let's suppose. ठीक है. That is classified under mild proteinuria. समझ में आ रहा? Or it can be non-selective as well. Non-selective being the holes are simply big, so you are having, even if you have fewer number of what you call openings or fenestrations in the GBM, let's suppose the holes are slightly bigger now, and through them, even if you have fewer of them in number, both albumin and globulin are being lost. Okay, that will also cause mild proteinuria. Okay, I hope you understood the concept here. Along with that, you will have hematuria, because through these fenestrations red cells will start coming out, and you will have edema plus mild hypertension. Okay, so these are the clinical features of what you see in syndrome of acute nephritis. Okay, then there is another one which is syndrome accompanying tubular pathology. Tubular pathology. Okay, इसमें क्या होता, when ARF is caused by destruction of tubular cells, okay, tubular cells of your nephron, okay, especially in case of acute tubular necrosis. Now it can be because of what you call ischemia, or it can be because of any condition. So it is starting off with acute tubular necrosis. Okay, the patient is having acute tubular necrosis. यहाँ से they are developing ARF. Okay, because of extensive destruction of your tubular cells, the patient is developing ARF. Now, typically what happens is there are two things that can happen in a patient such as this. Okay, they will either get treated, 50% of the times they will recover, 50% of the times it will lead to death of the patient. Okay, now in the patients who are recovering, okay, progress kaisa hoti, it will occur in 3 stages. Now, I'll start over once again if you did not understand. In syndrome accompanying tubular pathology, there is a problem in the tubules. Okay, यहाँ पर it will start off with acute tubular necrosis where the tubules of your nephron are undergoing necrosis. Because of that, the patient is developing ARF. The presentation that you see in this, how the patient presents, it will be seen in 3 different stages. Okay, now 50% of patients who have acute tubular necrosis who develop ARF eventually, they will survive. The other 50% will die. Okay, so prognosis is somewhat, it's not exactly very strong. Now the stages include stages of what do you call this disease will include oliguric phase, oliguric phase. Okay, oliguric phase में क्या होता, the patient will have significantly low amount of urine output, meaning urine output decreases less than 400 ml per day. Okay, and this will go on for 7 to 10 days. Okay, so initially in the first phase, which is the oliguric phase, the patient will have oliguria and it will go on for 7 to 10 days. Then they will come into diuretic phase. Diuretic phase characterized by healing of your tubules. So यहाँ पर full recovery, rather than full recovery, I would say only healing of your tubules occurs. Full recovery will occur in the next phase. Healing of tubules. See, again, please do not get confused. यहाँ पर acute tubular necrosis हो रहा मतलब it does not mean that all the tubules are lost. Some of the tubules are lost. Once necrosis sets in, you cannot repair that back. Okay, that tubule is lost forever. You can have the other tubules which were undergoing minor cell damage or who are progressing towards necrosis. They are healing. ठीक है? यहाँ पर क्या होता है, बिकॉज लेट सपोज each kidney has around 1 to 2 million nephrons. ठीक है. Now out of them, let's suppose some 50,000 were undergoing necrosis and the rest were also getting affected where their efficiency was going down because of metabolic waste products, because of whatever reason. यहाँ पर healing of tubules is occurring for the rest of those tubules, not those tubules which have already undergone necrosis. Once necrosis is certain, you cannot do anything about the cell. Okay, it is gone. Now, healing of tubules will occur in this, and urine output increases. So it stabilizes and starts to become normal. That is diuretic phase. Then you will have phase of recovery. Phase of recovery may the patient will have full recovery. Uh, full recovery. Okay. And the patient's tubular epithelial cells will completely regenerate back. Okay. यहाँ पर whatever cells were starting to get damaged, they will become normal. Necrosed cells are gone, but at least those cells which were having slight damage, they will become normal and they will completely regenerate back. The progression in this, where the patient is having phase of recovery and they are recovering completely, that occurs only in 50% of the cases. Okay. The rest 50% of the patients will completely they will definitely die. Okay. So acute tubular necrosis का prognosis है 50% of patients die, 50% survive, and they will go all the way up to phase of recovery, and the rest 50% die. Okay. So that is the second clinical presentation. The last clinical presentation of ARF will be pre-renal syndrome. Pre-renal syndrome क्या है? If acute renal failure occurs due to secondary disorders, ठीक है, in which neither glomerulus or tubules are damaged, only kidney, see, kidney का function significantly कम हो जा रहा है, it is not producing enough amount of urine, but you will not be able to see particular damage to your glomeruli, nor will you be able to see damage to your tubules. So you can think of it this way. Let's suppose the patient is having severe hypovolemia. Okay, I'm only giving one example. Pre-renal syndrome mein, I'm telling glomerulus are fine and tubules are fine. Both of them are good, healthy. But acute renal failure is occurring. Now you know acute renal failure is characterized by oliguria and anuria. मतलब ये दोनों होने के लिए pre-renally your blood supply should be low. ठीक है. So the patient has some disorder where the patient is having severe hypovolemia, or it can also be that the amount of blood that is reaching to your kidney is significantly low. यहाँ पर glomerulus and tubules को initially at least you will not see any particular damage, but the patient due to hypovolemia, they will not be able to send enough amount of blood to your kidney, and there will be sharp decrease in GFR. If there is sharp decrease in GFR, if there is sharp decrease in the amount of blood, GFR will fall. If GFR is falling, the total amount of urine output will significantly decrease. That is the third clinical feature. Okay, this rarely occurs, but it can happen. यहाँ पर glomerulus and tubules are normal, but the amount of blood that is reaching the kidney is not enough. ठीक है. Now later on, as the disease progresses in this as well, because of lack of blood, glomeruli and tubules will start getting disturbed and they will start getting damaged. But that is a different thing altogether. Initial phases में glomerulus and tubules को कोई damage नहीं होता. So that completes our ARF. If you have doubts, please let me know. Or if you want me to repeat anything, please let me know. Either we'll move into chronic renal failure. Okay. Now coming to chronic renal failure. As such, acute renal failure, if it goes untreated for a long period of time, or because of some other condition, chronic renal failure develops. Now, chronic renal failure is a syndrome which is characterized by progressive and irreversible deterioration, meaning there will be continuous damage and it will be irreversible kind of damage to renal function. ठीक है. Now it can be it is generally slow damage. So over a long period of time the kidney is getting damaged, and you reach one point where the kidney and the nephrons are basically completely damaged, or they are almost dead. ठीक है. In CRF there is no other way, you will have to uh, change the kidney of the patient. ठीक है. It is very very hard if the patient is having chronic renal failure. They will definitely be on dialysis, and you will have to transplant the kidney of the patient. ठीक है. Most of the patients who are having dialysis, they are chronic renal failure patients. CKD भी बोलते हैं इसको, chronic kidney disease. ठीक है. यहाँ पर the causes of this etiology, see, all chronic nephropathies, any type of chronic nephropathy, any type of chronic disease that is leading to nephron damage can cause chronic renal failure. Now these can be divided into two major groups based on where they are causing damage. So one group will be diseases that are causing glomerular pathology, meaning they are significantly damaging your glomerulus, whereas the other category will be those that are damaging your tubular interstitial system, your tubules and interstitium. So etiology based on where it is occurring, that where the damage is occurring, it can be divided into two categories. So diseases causing glomerular pathology, okay, and diseases causing tubulointerstitial pathology. Okay. Now, coming to the first one, glomerular pathology. What are the diseases that can cause glomerular pathology? The major cause of CRF is chronic glomerulonephritis. Okay. As I told you earlier when we were discussing about glomerulonephritis, chronic glomerulonephritis tends to be the most important cause for chronic renal failure as such. Most of the patients of CRF that you see will have glomerulonephritis, and they will develop chronic glomerulonephritis during their lifetime. Especially in the type of chronic glomerulonephritis they will have is either membranous glomerulonephritis, or they can have MPGN, membranous proliferative glomerulonephritis. Sometimes the patient will also have lipoid nephrosis. Lipoid nephrosis is when a lot of lipid molecules and foam cells will start invading inside your glomerulus and start causing damage. And something called anti-GBM disease. Yeah, anti-GBM nephritis. Meaning यहाँ पर significant damage to GBM is occurring mainly because of immune complexes. What happens is, as immune complexes increase in number, they will completely deteriorate and they will completely destroy your glomerular basement membrane. That is anti-GBM nephritis. Okay, there will be significant amount of inflammatory damage, and your GBM gets severely affected. That is, all of these causes are leading to CRF. That is why, because they are mainly causing damage to your glomerulus, they are classified under glomerular pathology. Okay, the main cause will always be chronic glomerulonephritis. Different types of glomerulonephritis hota, that is leading to CRF. Now, the diseases that can cause tubular interstitial nephropathy or tubular interstitial pathology, they generally result in reabsorption and secretion of several important constituents. So what happens in this is impaired reabsorption and secretion of urine components. Basically what will happen is, see, there are some components that are supposed to be thrown out of your blood, urea, creatinine and certain substances, whereas some substances are supposed to be retained. यहाँ पर क्या होता, there will be an impairment in this function of reabsorption and secretion, and ultimately you will have a urine that is devoid of a lot of constituents, or devoid of a lot of what do you call, waste products. Because of that, the end result will be that the urine that is coming out of the patient will be very very diluted, and it will be in very large amounts. Okay, this leads to excretion of large volumes of dilute urine. ठीक है, dilute urine माने it does not have enough amount of constituents. See, normally urea, creatinine, and other waste products, metabolic waste products that are being accumulated in your body, they are thrown out through your urine. If there is a tubular interstitial disease, that tubular, it can be inflammatory damage, it can be necrosis, it can be anything. Okay, that tubular interstitial disease is causing impairment in reabsorption. Now you know PCT, DCT, and clopidogrel are mainly the sources where reabsorption and secretion occur in your nephron. ठीक है, basic nephron physiology. यहाँ पर if there is damage to that tubular interstitial system, there will be impairment in that reabsorption and there will be impairment in the secretion. Mainly there will be an impairment in secretion, because of which a large quantity of constituents will never be secreted out. Because of which what will happen is large volumes of urine will be excreted out, meaning a lot of water is lost through your nephron, and that will basically dilute your urine. Okay, that occurs in your tubular interstitial pathology. Now we'll discuss about the clinical features of CRF tomorrow. Okay, so I hope you understood till here. Tomorrow hopefully we'll do the clinical features of CRF and we'll get into renal carcinoma. Okay.